generally, first session I used to be very hard and sword like open sword I will talk. Because just I want to filter the crowd. You are the chosen few. I think considerably crowd has been less. That's enough dropouts. These are the techniques used by the devotees and masters. Not very straightforward way. And naturally, the curious people, the curiosity mongers will drop. So now all the curiosity mongers are dropped. We are a seekers group. Now I can share anything with you all. It will be only helpful. You see, if your right knowledge shared with the wrong person will always produce wrong results. Right knowledge shared with the wrong person will always produce wrong results. I am very happy to see you all, and sorry I asked you all to excuse me. Yesterday I was a little, what to say, like a fire. Please accept it. There is no other way to filter the crowd. You understand what I mean? You see, of course, there is nothing wrong. What has happened is the selection process. The right knowledge, if it is given to the wrong person, it will produce only wrong results. If a knife is handed over to a child, there is every chance, every possibility it being used in a wrong way. So, because the child has no maturity, in the same way, the Shakti has to be given to a person who has only Buddhi, only has Buddhi. Buddhi, the man who doesn't have Buddhi, if Shakti is handed over to them, what will happen? The greatest scientist of last century, Albert Einstein, he has discovered the theory that E equal to mc square. He is the man who discovered the theory, the greatest scientist of last century. Right knowledge in the hands of wrong person can destroy the whole humanity. Today, if you burn the whole world 700 times, how much of atomic energy is needed? Atomic bombs are needed, atomic weapons are needed. So much is stored. Not once or twice. 700 times you can simply destroy the whole world. So much of atomic weapons are stored. Anybody who is mastering the statistics, they can be doing very well. 700 times you can destroy the world. So much of weapon is in the earth, stored by the different countries. Any moment, world can be destroyed. What is the reason? Right knowledge in the hands of wrong person. So, that is the thing which we filter it. Filter the crowd. It should not be handed over to curiosity mongers. It should be handed over to only real seekers. Any spiritual value, anything should be handed over to real persons. So today, we are going to start our today's subject is wisdom of body. Body's intrinsic intelligence. When you see all these mysterious things which is happening in your body, you will find a big factory is running inside. You cannot say factory. The word is too small. Industry, even that word looks too small. You can say industrial estate. Here some high-tech park, techno park is running. I think that's why we need to use white field. They create a white field. Here big industry, high-tech park is running. And if you see in the stomach, a big industrial estate is getting running. Industrial estate is running. So many things are happening in the body. If you just think about the mysteries which is happening in your body, you will see the glory, or you will be called, our body is called in Vedanta Pindanda. Pindanda. And Parashakti, the existence, is called Brahmanda, cosmic universe. Our body is called as a Pindanda. What is happening in the universe? Everything happens in your body. It is so mysterious. It is so wonder-striking. When you try to look inside your body, when you try to have some friendship or look into your body, you will simply understand what is happening inside. How many things are happening inside. It's got a deep intelligence system, intrinsic intelligence system. Yesterday we all heard and spoken about the poor mind system which says, which inquires about the poor mind. If you really inquire, if it has become a question you, not a question, there is a deep difference between quest and question. We have all heard that and asked poor mind just as a question. It has not become a question us. If it would have become a question us, we would have found some deep inner experience, of course, that will take deep search. So what I want to mean, what I want to say, when you understand the mysteries of the body, when you start respecting, when you start having respect towards the body, you will find you are not the body. You will have a tremendous respect towards the body and you will find who you are. It's a great way to know who you are. There are two paths. One is just condemning the body and destroying the body and saying that I am not the body and going beyond the body. This is a very hard path followed by the yogis and tapasvis. It is not preferred for the normal people. And the other way, start respect your body. Start having a deep respect and love to your body. You will understand that you are not the body. Normally what we do, we just use our body. We condemn our body, the body has destroyed me. Body is only disturbing me. Body is only pulling me towards this, towards that. But actually what happens, we use the body for our interests. If you want to eat chili, you use the body and eat and enjoy it. Body says, no, I am not able to eat. Your tongue is burning, eyes are pouring. But are you eating? No. Especially Andhra people. Whatever chili they grow, simply they get the whole thing. No export. Nothing is sent outside. So I don't know how to eat so much of chili. Anyhow, we enjoy using our body. Many things, whatever you enjoy, you will see the body is suffering. But you will not allow it. When you see TV till the 12 o'clock, your eyes are burning. Your body says, I want sleep. I want to go to rest. But do we allow? No. But next day morning we will condemn our body. Because of the senses only, I am pulled down, I am dragged, I am wasted. But what is happening is just opposite. Nobody is responding. Anybody will contradict this idea? Please understand. So, all of you understand very clearly what I mean. Generally, we have the opinion in our mind that senses are destroying us, body is destroying us, body is our enemy. We are taught from the young age the body is our enemy. Is it not? From very young age. No. How you see? But the society, you see, but in relationship with the body. Generally, we have the idea that we should control the body. Is it not? Do you understand that idea is given? To every one of us, that you should control the body. That idea is given. Senses are the body. Panchendriyas. Oh. So you know the clear difference between the Panchendriya and body.
The body is built up of
senses. You see, we may use the word the Panchendriyas are to be controlled. But can you find a difference between body and Panchendriya? In their words we may find, but in practical sense, no. In practical sense, we have no difference between Panchendriyas and body. Indriya means it is working inside the eyes. But can you control it? Only you can control the eyes. You try to control your eyes. Generally, the three monkeys story, the three monkeys which teaches the moral. Don't look bad, don't hear bad, don't speak bad. It's only controlling body. But the deep meaning behind is to control the indriyas. But we do not know what is indriya, what is body. We know only one thing, that is the grass body. We start controlling it.
Just listen. Body is thinking. There is something. Just listen.
Yes, that is what I want to see. Yes. What will happen? Class. Very good. The controlling. Alright, you decided that you should control your tongue. You are trying again and again. You are trying. Have you become successful? To a certain extent, some system has been developed. Practice and system has been developed. Through this, we have become only insensitive. We have controlled our truth by controlling the body. Why do you want to control somebody? When do you want to control somebody? When you don't have trust on him. When you don't trust your worker to control him. Astray. When we don't rely on him that he will not go astray. That time also we control.
Control what is best to speak.
They control. That is one system. Actually, through controlling also you can attain to enlightenment. You can attain the spiritual experience. But it is impractical for the common mass, common people. For us, there is two systems. Actually, two systems. One is through control, yoga, the path of yoga, controlling everything and getting into the spiritual experience. And another system, having a deep, friendly relationship with everything and entering into the system. Ramakrishna used to say very beautifully, you can go beyond the Maya by just jumping over the Maya, by brushing aside. And another Maya is also there. Oh Maya, please allow me to go beyond it. Bowing down, having a friendly connection, and then going beyond it. There are two types. The first type is almost impossible. I think there is very few people who will be able to get successful. And it takes janmas after janmas. Old and time technique. In the same speed of bullock cart. Because the technique is designed in the bullock cart age. The technique is also in the same speed of bullock cart. After janmas, you will be getting slowly controlled over your senses, then mind, then buddhi, then chitta, then ego, then getting enlightened. But today is the age of chit. You have no time. And unless I give within 2 days breakthrough, nobody else will come. Unless I show the immediate result. Unless the techniques give you immediate result. But fast solution, instant coffee. So instant meditation. Today is the age of jet. If I give the same technique of bullock carts, nobody will prefer. So now we have designed the techniques of jet. jet speed techniques only can work. The jet speed technique is the technique to understand and cooperate with your body system. So, first thing, drop any negativity, any idea with enmity, any idea about controlling your body from your mind. You are your body. One thing, now don't bother about controlling the body. First drop the negativity and see. Actually, I can tell you one small story. One sannyasi, enlightened person, was enjoying the moon in a Purnima day, and he is very beautifully enjoying the moon and stars, the cool breeze, plants dancing in the air, everything he is enjoying. And there is a small hut. Inside that there was one person staying. He was just taking his rest after his food. The sannyasi called that person outside. Please come and see the starry nights, beautiful moon, and enjoy. The person told, no, you are telling lie. First show me the sun, show me the moon and the starry nights, then I will come outside the house. The Swami told, no, please just come outside, I will show you. No, you are telling lie, I cannot rely on you. First show me, then I will come outside. Then after 2 minutes, the sannyasi started shouting, oh, house has got fire, house has got fire, house has got fire. The person came running outside. Then when he saw the starry nights, beautiful moon and the cool breeze, he forgot the idea of the house has got fire. And he started talking to the sannyasi who was so beautiful. He told me, I did not believe. Now it is looking beautiful. Yes, now I am enjoying. And suddenly he remembered. He told the house got fire, it is not burning. He told a lie. So the sannyasi told, yes, I told a lie to bring you out. But how can you show without bringing the man out the starry nights? Actually, there is something called body intelligence. Unless you drop the negativity, it will not be shown. You ask how to drop the negativity without seeing the body intelligence. The same thing. Do you understand what I mean? You see, I cannot show you the starry nights unless you come out of the house. So if you trust this idea and testify in your life, try to put in your life, you will see that tremendous body intelligence is coming. There is no need to control at all. You don't have to control your body. Whatever is controlled, whatever discipline, whatever system, whatever method, you use it to control your body. Whatever is followed by controlling the body is not a permanent thing. Please be very clear. If you control yourself not to drink or not to smoke, it is not a permanent thing. Any day the morality can be broken. Only it is a skin deep. Any day you will be falling from that.
So you will be guiding us to come out?
I am going to shout, house has got fire, house has got fire. I am going to shout. I am going to shout after 2 hours, after 1.5 hours. In meditation I am going to shout, you are going to come out. Yes, that is going to happen.
Can you give us 2 examples of what exactly is controlling the body?
There are so many things. One example I can give you. You may like to sleep at 4:30 to 6. Early morning, 6. You may be loving to have a sleep at that time.
The body wants to sleep or what?
You can that clarification I will give you. That's not exactly I am coming to that point only. You may be feeling like sleeping, but you might have read from some books. The Brahma Muhurta, if you meditate, you will get something. You will be fantasizing that if at that time I get up and meditate, put on incense sticks in front of some my Ishta Devata and put on garland, and if I silently sit, I will be transported to some other land. You will be fantasizing. All these things. These are the same, equal to the other fantasies. You will be fantasizing. Then we want to materialize that fantasy. When we want to materialize that fantasy, we try to get up. We keep some alarm for 4:30. When the alarm goes, we will switch it up and sleep for 10 minutes. That 10 minutes sleep is a beautiful thing. Even if you don't get the whole night sleep, you just keep alarm, you will see that after the alarm rings, you will get sleep. Even if you have not slept for whole night, you will be able to sleep when the alarm goes after 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, you will get up and try to meditate or do something. These things comes out of fantasy. Your body will not cooperate with that. But you try to control your body. This is the control. Do you understand what I say? Your body needs, but you are not allowing. There are many examples I can give. Your body may be need of food, but you will be busy in business. You will be just postponing the time. With hunger you will be pulling. There are many things. The stomach never wants to have more food. Only tongue wants to have more food. The stomach never wants to have more food. Stomach never has the more food. I will give you a technique. How to find out when stomach says no. How to find out? Today that you will be given a meditation to awaken your body intelligence. Actually, you have asked the right question about the controlling. The psychologists have now proved that selected 2 hours of sleep time, if you are sleeping for 6 or 7 hours, some 2 hours, your body temperature falls down to 2 degrees. 2 degrees of your body temperature falls down. Now psychologists have found and proved that 2 hours is the only time for your sleep. All other time you are not sleeping. You are only breathing and going down and coming up. You have to find out that 2 hours. If you have slept that 2 hours, you can completely keep awake the whole day. If you have not slept that 2 hours, even if you sleep the whole day, you will be feeling the drowsiness. So each man's that 2 hours will be totally different. But when you read some spiritual books or when you get some idea that I should get up in the early morning and meditate all these things, if your time is that 2 hours, if you try to get up, then you will be failure. That's what I mean by the word controlling. We try to control our body for the sake of society in many ways, in many places, in many times. You can see. We try to control. To awaken the intelligence of the body is the first thing to do in our life. So you got clear about that? What I mean? You see, we never become slaves of our stomach. We become slaves of our tongue. Actually. When the body says, no, enough, I won't be able to eat. But tongue says, no, so many beautiful dishes are there. Simply swallow it. It is better to waste outside than inside. If you waste outside, only food will be wasted. If you waste inside, body also will be wasted. The system also will be wasted. So how to awaken the body wisdom? What is meant by body wisdom? I will give you some more clear ideas.
But at the same time, you are asking not to control the body, so you should not control the tongue also.
Yes, don't control the tongue, don't control the body, only awaken the intelligence. How to do that? That I am going to give you. How to is the thing. Actually, by controlling tongue, no one can conquer the tongue. Anybody who has succeeded that by controlling tongue, I have conquered the tongue. If you are fasting, that day night is very sure, in dream you will see you are eating. If you are fasting, am I right? It's very sure. If you are fasting for 2-3 days, even in daydreaming you will fantasize about foods. Am I right? Because whatever things control cannot be controlled. Whatever you try to control cannot be controlled. Whatever done with intelligence only can be a standard thing. If you are understood and do it with intelligence, it will be standard thing. How to awaken the body intelligence. See, one young boy who was smoking addict came to me and then asked how to stop this. I asked him how to become addict. He was standing with his friend, on a bunk shop, roadside shop, and his friend was actually smoking. The father crashed at that time, and the father mistook that he is also smoking, seeing that his friend smoking. Then after when the son came back to the house, the father fired him left and right. That I saw you smoking all this that day. Son tried to prove that he has not smoked. But finally father did not listen. After this incident happened, the son got very much annoyed and he told me, remembering father I smoked twice. Continuously started smoking just to condemn my father. Then he became addict. Of course, he only suffered. Nobody else suffered. He only suffered. He became addict. And then I'm giving the example. In try to control what happens. Then he came to me and asked how to drop this. He thought I will give some vows or I will give some technique to drop. I told, go and smoke as deeply as possible. Go and smoke as deeply as possible. Only two conditions I told. Don't remember your father and don't remember your hero. Many people when they smoke, they don't smoke for smoking. When they smoke, they remember their hero, how he smokes. They try to imitate. They feel they have become mature by smoking. Children try smoking just to prove they have become mature. The young boys also try smoking just to prove they have become their heroes. Mentally they have some tuning. They want to become their hero. So they try with all these things. I gave only these two ideas. Don't have condemnation. Don't have this idea. Just drop this two and go and try smoking. Actually it happened. Literally it came tears in his eyes and told me after 3 days, Swami, really I am not able to smoke. Actually he is diagnosed. When I am conscious of when I am smoking, I see that I am not smoking for smoking. Only two reasons. One is to condemn my father. Another one is that I am imagining as if I have become the hero of my life. Just I am imitating. When he became conscious about the facts, he says he is not able to smoke. And then the few more words he added. Swami, now I am feeling how all these days I have put the smoke into my system. The system, you put little hard chili, you feel the body, but you are putting your smoke into your system. When you became conscious about what you are doing, many things drop by yourself. So this type of dropping only is the permanent thing. Of course, it may take few days. It takes few days. If you want intelligence to get awakened, it takes few days. You need to be patient till that time. That is what is called tapasya. The patience. Till the real intelligence gets awakened. Don't go for a second intelligence, the second grade intelligence, which is called morality. We always stand with the idea of morality. We are in deep fear. If we don't control our body, what will happen? We have no trust on our body. We don't trust on our system. That is why we are so much afraid. If I don't control, what will happen? That is why we are always worried about how to control the body, how to control the system, how to control the senses. We are in a time, we are sitting on a balcony. We feel as if we are sitting on a balcony. Am I right? Psychologically, we are all sitting on a balcony. At least, if balcony is not there, we create a balcony and sit on that. Just to prove that I am doing something hard. Because we have not awakened our intelligence, inner intelligence. That's a beautiful story. Again, Zen Buddhist monk. I love the Zen Buddhism. One Zen enlightened master, Zen master, has come to a place, new town in Japan. And his fame has spread all over the country. And the king has come to meet the master. and ask the master, beloved master, you feel so happy and your presence is so vibrating, you are so radiating, and things are happening. So many miracles are happening in your presence. So many people get healed. So many people feel their wishes are bestowed. So many things are happening. How is it? What is the practice which you do? What type of meditation you do? Do you repeat mantra? Do you do japa? Or do you do sirasasana? What do you do? The Swami, the master, replied beautifully. Very beautifully he replied. I eat when I eat, I sleep when I sleep. That is the sadhana. The king was little intelligent, not like a third-rate politician. The king is a little intelligent man. He asked, Master, I don't understand, just explain. Then the master started explaining. When you eat, do you eat? We can come to our life. When we eat, do we eat? All our past worries and future plans will appear only when we start eating. When you start sitting, when you sit for eating, what happens? Either you read newspaper or see TV. That has become one habit now. Or we start worrying about the past or planning about the future. Am I right? When you eat, you think everything except eating. When you eat, you do everything except eating. Yes.
Not conscious of eating.
Beautiful words. These two words are very beautiful. You can mark. This is the key today. The gist of the whole class today is these two words. He has told beautifully. You are not living in the present. You are not conscious of eating. These two words are the gist, key for this class. Key for this class. When we eat, we do everything else except eating. Am I right? For the sake of feeling, not eating. For the sake of feeling. Beautifully the Upanishad says, Annam brahmeti navyajanat, annam na ninjat tat pratam. The commentator comments on this sutra, he says, Sutra, Bhashyakara, Shankara is called as a Bhashyakara. But there are so many Bhashyakaras, later on name. All are in a single name Shankara. Shankara is not a single person. There are some 100 or 120 persons. All their works are put together called in the general name, common name Shankara. The commentator says, Bhashyakara says, the food is equal to God. When you eat, if you don't eat with respect, with chewing, with a deep respect, with a remembering food, if you are eating, remembering something else, it is equal to throwing it in dustbin. When you throw it in dustbin, what happens? The same thing will happen when you throw it here. Something worse will happen. Yes, she is right. Something worse will happen. So when you eat, we don't eat at all. When you sleep, come to the next point. When you sleep, what happens? Continuously we are dreaming. When you are awake also, you are daydreaming. When you are asleep, you are night dreaming. These two things only happen. Not all, of course, that is true. The people who are successful in their business, they don't do much daydreaming. Yes, really. They are less daydreaming. Now science has proved the people who are successful in the business, that is why the rich people come to the meditation. Rich people are more aware. Because they are alert. The whole day, when you are aware, naturally you will make money. Money will flow towards you. Everything will flow towards you. The possibility of becoming rich is more when you are aware, when you are alert. When you stop daydreaming, it means when you stop making dreams, you start living in reality. When you live with the dreams, you won't be able to live with reality. Dreams can never become true because they are dreams. They are called dreams. How can they become true? Yes. You can compare them with horses. They will be just running. And nobody knows who will get what prize. There is two different things, planning and dreaming. Planning is always standard and physical, down to earth. Dreaming is always psychological, nothing, you cannot fulfill it. If you can earn 1,000 rupees, your aim will be always for 1 lakh. Before you come to the 50,000, it will become 2 crores. So this is what I call dreaming. And the plans are not like that. Think globally, work locally. Have you heard this? Think globally, work locally. Working locally is what I call planning. Thinking globally is what I call dreaming. You understand? Some more explanation. Actually, only you can find out the difference between these two. I can give the task to find out. You have to find out using the task in your day-to-day life. What is dreaming and what is planning? Through plan, when you plan, even if it is not successful, you will not feel that you have failed. You will feel that you have done something. You have achieved something. You tried your best. But with the dreams, even if it is successful, you will not be happy. This is the scale. With the plans, even if it is failure, you will not be unhappy. With the dreams, even if it is successful, you will not be happy. Yes, it is a beautiful thing. What he has told is only I want to give it in a conclusion. He has given it beautiful. I think it must have been his experience. Otherwise nobody else can do it, tell in an authoritative way. Really, when you don't harm and live a dharmic life, you will not feel that sleeplessness. You will not have the day-to-day problem. Really is true. But how to? For that only I am doing the meditation. The how to, that affects everything. You see, Sita was Ekavritti Gatai because she has not seen Shah Rukh Khan in TV. See, reality. Don't mistake that I am not condemning Sita. I am not pulling down the Sita. She has not been given dreams in the young age. But today, we have been given so many dreams. So what he calls as moral life became a difficulty. In that times of Patanjali or Ramayana, moral life is very easy. Am I right? There are so many temptations. There were no so many temptations. But today it is not like that. We are filled with temptation, especially the history of psychology, consciousness history. The human beings' psychological history has been written. In the ordinary human history is in a two-way separated, before Christ and after Christ. If you write the human psyche history, it will be before TV, after TV. Actually, the Americans have done research, a very big research, and they conclude that before TV, after TV is the way to write the psychological history of human beings. A new layer of consciousness is formed, which is called the cerebral. I would like to explain it a little more deeply. In Patanjali's time, if you are asked, close your eyes, sit in a straight position and keep the mind calm, immediately you will be able to do. Because your mind is completely sensitive and not agitated, aggravated, complicated. You will be able to sit, immediately your mind will become calm. But today, is it possible? A new layer has formed, which is called cerebral. It means enjoying without enjoying. Many of you want to dance. You won't be able to dance. Society will not allow. See the duets and get satisfied. That is the reason. Everywhere continuously duet songs are going. Many things you want to enjoy, but you won't be able to enjoy. Let us fulfill ourselves by seeing somebody else is enjoying. Today psychology has proved this cerebral enjoyment. When the layer of cerebral enjoyment entered, our mind has become complicated. The body intelligence has been destroyed just by the cerebral layer, cerebral enjoyment. This layer is the reason which has destroyed our body intelligence. In ancient time, controlling the body was not such a big thing. It was very easy. Because the cerebral layer was not existing. Please be clear about the cerebral layer. Everyone of you are clear about the cerebral layer. You see, in olden time, there is only two things. Either you enjoy physically, directly you go and dance with somebody whom you want to dance. Directly you enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. Or you don't enjoy. Only these two layers. Now the third layer is there. You are not enjoying physically, but you are enjoying mentally, continuously.
Interested
You can name it in any way. Name it in many ways. You are not enjoying physically, but you are enjoying mentally, cerebrally, continuously. Even in ancient time, there were few dance programs and all. It will be at the most few hours, few minutes. But now, whole day we are enjoying cerebrally through media, newspaper, advertisement, hoardings are also nothing but cerebral things. Yes. All advertisement, hoardings, media, internet, we can make a big list. All these things make a new layer of consciousness, layer in your consciousness, which is called cerebral enjoyment. This layer is the layer which is the reason for destroying the body intelligence. Advertisements, how much they go deep inside your being, you don't know. There are a few experiments which gives the astounding results. Even without your consciousness, without you being observing the hoardings, just by a flash they get in your system. They get recorded in your system. And when you go to shop, you will ask exactly the same thing. Even if you don't observe the hoardings, even if you can.
Brainwashing.
Yes. The word, beautiful word, brainwashing. You can say psychological washing. Much deeper. When the cerebral layer is formed, your body intelligence got completely destroyed. The cerebral layer was not existing before TV, before media, in olden days. So now human beings' mind has become more complicated. Actually, when mind has become complicated, we got many plus points also. It is not that it is completely negative. There are many scientific growth. Our life has become comfortable, luxurious, very many things we get. All these things are positive. We should not be against the science or against the growth of the life, against the media. That is not the thing all of us take on TV and break it. No. That is not the solution. It cannot be the solution. So have everything, whatever the luxury the Western society, the modern society gives, and see when to switch off the TV, and know when to switch off the TV. Not only the outside TV, the inside TV also. What I mean by the inside TV is the cerebral layer. Even if you don't see the outside TV, you will be just remembering and enjoying many things inside. When you know how to switch off the inside things, how to keep these repressions out, how to keep these loads out, your body intelligence will automatically start working. So, the story, the Japanese monk explains the story. When I eat, I don't think anything else. I don't remember anything else. When I sleep, I don't do anything else. This is the master key. What is the hindrance to live like this? The hindrance is the cerebral layer. How to throw that cerebral layer out? We can call it signal. And much beautiful very, very difficult. No-mindedness. It means when your thoughts disappear, your intelligence gets awakened. The beautiful mantra Gayatri. The meaning of the Gayatri is the same. Om Bhurvassuva Tatsavidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. The running translation of this mantra. Let us meditate, let us contemplate on the consciousness which awakens, on the energy which awakens our buddhi, our ji, our intelligence. Let that same energy help us to meditate upon that. This is the running translation of the mantra. When your mind is not working, when your mind is switched off, your intelligence starts working. The no-mindedness. Yes, we can use the word silence. It is better to use the word mauna. Even the silence is not so clear. Silence is the word which has become a negative, no soundedness. But the word mauna is something positive, something more expressive. Yes, the word silence is an apt word. You can call it silence. When you know how to be no-minded, your body intelligence starts getting awakened. When your body intelligence is awakened, there is no need for me. It means there is no need for healer. You will heal yourself. Not only you will heal yourself, you will see the disease is not appearing. See, when some daydreams gets awakened in your being, when some dreams enter in your being, when some desires enter in your being, when the cerebral enjoyment, that layer gets awakened, when you get some fantasies, immediately you become uneasy with your body. Is it not? You become uneasy with yourself. You are not at ease with yourself. When some desire gets awakened, have you observed? When some deep desires like kama, krodha, or anger, kopa, all these things, when it gets awakened in you, what do you feel? You feel some uneasiness, restless. The right word, restless, uneasiness. When you are not at ease with yourself, you are diseased. Disease comes. When you are not at ease with your being, yourself, you are diseased. Naturally, disease descends on you. No disease is an uninvited guest. All your diseases, you go to his house and call him, please come and visit my house, visit my body. Then he says, no, I have already so many fixed appointments, I won't be able to come. You say, no, please come, I want you urgently. Then also he refuses. After coming back to your home, you send a telegram, you write a letter, you send a fax, you ring up to him. Then also he refuses. Then you send somebody and bring him with in hands. This is the way we bring the diseases. But when the guest comes, we forget whatever the ways and means we used to bring him, and we ask, why did he come? This is what happens when we get the disease also. Actually, this is what happens. Because disease are very good people. Really, they don't visit all the people. There are so many engagements, they don't come to all. But we don't leave them. Only we forget after inviting, we forget how we invited. So if
some diseases,
we don't invite consciously. We don't invite any disease consciously. Who will invite the disease consciously? But unconsciously, we don't know that we are inviting the diseases. When we become uneasy with our being, we become diseased. So when your body intelligence starts awakening, you will not see the diseases entering in you. There's a beautiful stotra sung by Ramana Maharshi. ஐம்புல கள்வர் அகத்தினில் புகும்போது அகத்தினில் இல்லையோ அருணாச்சலா. He asked Shiva, when the five senses, the thieves of five senses entered in my mind, oh Shiva, you are not in the house. What happened? So in the same way, when these outer desires, when they enter in our being, if the Atman, if the Buddhi, the intelligence within us, if he is sleeping, they will enter. When we are unconscious, we invite those diseases and allow them inside. Actually, none of us invite any diseases. Only we invite unconscious. We make arrangements and we do everything and bring them here inside. In children, only conscious is not working, but unconscious is working. That is why they are able to, as soon as they take birth, within 2 days they are able to drink milk, they are able to digest. The unconscious system is working. Instinct, we can call it the word instinct. Instinct emotions are working. So those things are invading the disease. So now what we are supposed to do is how to be very clear about the unconscious instincts. You see, when we bring the past masana, immediately the past janma comes. I don't want to bring the big subject inside. Actually, the past janma is unproved thing. Still now nobody has proved. I don't want to say anything. It's unproved. Of course, if you ask me whether the past janma is there, I will say yes, because it is my experience. From my authority, I tell you, there is a past janma, and there is going to be future janmas. It's my experience. But what to do? It's a poor thing. I cannot prove it. Mukti. When you get enlightened and you get the spiritual elevation, you will be enlightened. After enlightenment, there won't be any birth. So these things I can tell you from my authority only. I cannot prove it. So that is why I am not bringing the past karma in. But what you say is the truth, but it is not fact. I is moksha. That is what I call it enlightenment. So when you say the word, the past karma, it is truth, but not fact. Fact has to be proved. Truth cannot be proved. Truth is something more than which can be proved. So what you said is truth, but I cannot say it as a fact because I won't be able to prove it. So we can say the instinct. Instincts are proved. The word instinct is proved. It is a basic instinct. That's why child also invite the diseases. So now we are going to see how not to invite the disease. When your body intelligence gets awakened, you will not invite the diseases. You will not allow the diseases to come in. If you don't invite at all, they will not come at all. If you don't invite, surely I am sure that they will not come. I know all types of diseases. You may be knowing only 1 or 2 diseases which you have. The word instinct is proved. It is a basic instinct. That's why child also invite the diseases. So now we are going to see how not to invite the disease. When your body intelligence gets awakened, you will not invite the diseases. You will not allow the diseases to come in. If you don't invite at all, they will not come at all. If you don't invite, surely I am sure that they will not come. I know all types of diseases. You may be knowing only 1 or 2 diseases which you have. I know all types of diseases because I see many patients. Diseases are very good people. Really, I tell you from my authority, diseases are really very good people. They never come without getting invited. Without having invitation, they never come, they never visit. So if you stop inviting, naturally they stop visiting. If you stop inviting, that will be enough. They will stop visiting you. How to drop the diseaseness from you? How to stop the diseaseness in you is the thing which we are going to see. The meditation which will help you to drop the layer of cerebral enjoyment. The cerebral layer. The cerebral layer is the thing which is called disease. It's a new type of layer which is formed in the course of one human being. Yes, the word subconscious is right. What is subconscious? What is meant by we are not conscious about it? Alright, I'll explain. You are going in a Maruti car. When you stop at signal, one Ford icon comes and stands behind you. Without your knowledge, a deep thought comes, and a deep desire comes for Ford icon. And immediately you suppress it. No, you won't be able to have. Immediately you suppress it. That is next is different. But the thing which happens at that moment, the desire comes and you suppress it. That is what is called subconscious. There are many examples we can give. Am I right in this example? Yes, this is the right question. One thing, you cannot grab it, that is sure. I am going to tell you how to drop the desire, not how to press the desire. All these days, you know how to press the desire. All these days, you are doing how to press the desire. You are doing suppression, repression. Now I am going to give you the technique to drop it. What is to be done? Neither expression of going and grabbing it, going and catching it, or suppressing it, or keeping it in your side. The thing which is to be done is dropping it. If you get the car, there is no need for suppressing. When you get the board icon, your mind will go to Rolls Royce. That is what will happen. When you get a board icon, when you catch that feeling of the board icon, I assure you will be remembering the Rolls Royce. Benz or Rolls Royce. When you catch the Benz, you will be thinking of Rolls Royce. Am I right? Ah, yes. Yes, that is true. That is true. The same energy, if it is going in outside, outwardly, it is called karma. Expression, having the thing which you want. If it is stopped, if it is not allowed, it becomes a kova, it becomes anger towards somebody else or towards ourselves. If that becomes a mild anger towards the man who is having the code icon, it is called jealousy. If it is towards you, I won't be able to have the code icon, what type of life I am living, I should do something. Inferiority complex. Many ways it gets done. When it is towards you, when it is repressed, it is called repression. Expression and repression, both are going to disturb you. The way not to get disturbed, the way to leave is drop. How to drop is going to be this meditation. Very clear about the idea, expression, suppression, dropping. Dropping is what is called meditation. What is subconscious? Now we are diagnosing. What is subconscious? Subconscious is nothing but the suppressed desires, suppressed emotions, suppressed anger, suppressed lust. All these things are collectively called with the word subconscious. In your office, your boss is scolding you. Immediately what happens? You also get the anger. Basically, we are nothing more than a monkey. We are nothing more than an animal. Are we? Basically, we are nothing more than an animal. If a monkey shouts at another monkey, if a monkey tries to attack another monkey, the other monkey also gets angry and reacts. Things are equated. Things are over. If a man gets anger and shouts at us, we are also, according to the physical system, equal to monkey. When somebody shouts, the same thing happens in us also. We also get the same anger. And now science has proved when you get angry, a chemical is produced in your blood and released throughout your body. Anybody doctors? Anybody doctors? Anybody in this biology field? Am I right? Some chemicals are produced in our body and it gets mixed with the blood and it is released. The energy to attack the man has already produced. but you won't be able to attack because he is your boss. If you attack, you will lose your job. There will be many side effects. When you are not able to express, you suppress it. Then what will happen to the chemical which is produced? What will happen to the energy? And gets frozen. If the water is allowed to flow, it will become a river and helping thousands and thousands of people. If the same water is not allowed to flow and made into a pond, it will get dry. Not only that, it will get all sorts of dirty, get collected with all dirtiness and start giving a bad smell. In the same way, if the energy is not allowed to flow in its own course, when it is stopped, suppressed, the same energy gets frozen and started giving a bad smell in our being. That is the bad smell. When you can smell this. When you go to house, when you come back from office, when you come to the house, you throw the file on the sofa seat or bang the door. You can, at that time, you can smell this. What I mean by subconscious. You can smell this subconscious in your activities. Am I right? Or when you shout at your wife or husband, when you shout at them, you can smell the subconscious which is in you.
In the common language, we say no.
Yes. No good mood. We can say no good mood. Right. So, anybody has got experience sharing? This type of experience? Everybody has got this experience. The boy will go to her house and scold her mother. The mother will scold the husband. The husband will go and scold somebody else. The continuous chain of reactions. Continuously happening. This is what is happening in the world. Somewhere we have to release it. So here I am going to give you the technique to release with the air. When you release with the Akasha will not go and scold anybody. Air will not go and scold anybody. So now we are going to have a technique to release all our repressions into air.
Space.
Into space. Whatever way you call it. Space, air, ether, Akasha, any name. If we express it on somebody, the chain of karma will be continuing. If you express it, if you suppress it on yourself, you will become insensitive, dull, dead. How long you can suppress? Yes, stored in subconsciousness, and the repression when the subconscious is overburdened, our whole being is destroyed. Yes, I mean all repressions are stored in subconscious. That is why even there are many things which if I have to say something openly, I have to say it openly. When you control yourself, not to see some women, or when some women controls herself, not to see some man particularly, you will see that exact person in dream. Am I right? And how much you suppress, so many times you will see. If you want to see him continuously in dreams, please suppress. Really. So, whatever you won't be able to fulfill in the nanavu, in awakened state, you fulfill it in dream state.
Remembering the enemy always.
Yes, that is also one thing. Out of anger, you don't want to remember him. When his mind comes up, you simply push him down. But in dreams, exactly will be appearing and giving darshan to people. There is a beautiful story. One person wants to have some siddhis, some magic power, bringing some vibhuti, bringing some magic powers. He went to a Himalayan guru, a spiritual master, and started asking, Swami, please teach me that I want to have some miracles. The Swami told, no, you go for meditation, don't go for all these miracles. These things won't help you in life. You will not be able to grow. Go for meditation. That person told, no, I want only meditation. I want only miracles. I don't want meditation. Who will grow size and sit? I want only ignorance. Then the Swami is not able to convince him. He told, all right, he gave one bottle of medicine and told, go and drink this medicine 3 times per day. Only one condition, don't remember monkey and drink. Then immediately that person asked the question, if I remember. You see, if you would not have told that, if he has not told, don't remember monkey, he would not have remembered monkey. Who remembers monkey? Every day do we remember monkey? Even Anjaneya Bhaktas don't remember every day. Even Anjaneya Bhaktas forget monkey. You see, if you want to remember, you will forget. Just try to forget, you will remember it. That has become a mind. You see, even Anjaneya Bhaktas don't remember. But when the master told, immediately he was thinking, if I remember what should I do? Alright, take one bath and then drink. What will happen? Just think. He came and took the medicine and thought, whom I should not remember? Yes, monkey. I am not supposed to remember monkey. Immediately he remembered that he has remembered the monkey and went and took bath and came and picked up the bottle. What would have happened? Then after 1 hour, when he went to take bath, he felt that the whole bathroom is filled with monkeys. Really, when you suppress something, you will feel this. He has become so tense and disturbed. He took back the medicine and told the Swami, please take your medicine and along with the medicine take the monkeys also. I won't be able to manage with these monkeys. I am already filled with these monkeys. Please take away these monkeys. So this is the same thing which will be happening in our life. So the same thing. When you don't want to remember somebody, when you want to forget somebody, you will see that person exactly in your dreams. The subconscious is working. You can call it unconscious also. There is a little subtle difference between unconscious and subconscious. Of course, that we can see when we see about chakras. So how to drop the subconscious? What is meant by subconscious? Now we saw the repressed desires and repressed lust, repressed anger, unfulfilled. That is also a right word. Yes, that is a very beautiful word, unfulfilled. But there are few things, even after fulfillment, it gets as a desire, as a storage. But when you really get the fulfillment, you don't store the seed also. But we never get real fulfillment, any desire. We don't get anything, we don't get fully into anything. If we get into anything fully, we will be out. In, the way for out. If you get in, you will come out. But we never get in fully. We never get involved completely. We always have some reservations in anything. So unfulfilled desires, the right word. It has become a frozen thing in our body. So now we are going to have a technique which is called Dukkha Harana Dhyana, which will kill our dukkha, which will destroy our sorrows. All our sorrows are nothing but the subconscious, nothing but the cerebral layer. This is the layer which disturbs our physical health, mental health, spiritual health. All the well-being, all these 3 well-being is disturbed only by this subconscious layer. When the subconscious comes, you get irritated, you are continuously angry. When you start suppressing the anger, you will see your whole day has become angry. In every attitude, you will be angry. When a child comes, you will scold. There will be so many lotuses blooming. Unconsciously, you will be plucking the leaves and just not only throwing and just making leaves. Have you observed? Have you done it? Paper, yes, paper. Beautiful thing. Paper. You just take it and tear it and do something. If paper is not there, the sitting chair, you will simply drag. Sir. wife comes and keeps the tumbler of water. If little bit of sound is there, tuck, even that much sound is enough to agree with us. Have you gone to your father's house? Appa veetla correct பண்ணுங்க. These things are all just the products of subconsciousness. You are filled, bubbling with anger, bubbling with lust. You are afraid to see even a woman's calendar. You are afraid to see even a man's calendar. You try to avoid. Am I right? Many times it happens. All put repression. The people who are fasting, biting the nails is also one type of repression. You see, actually, nails and mouth, they are very closely related. All the animals, to kill others, the nails are the instruments. Nails are the things which they use weapons. And nails and the mouth is closely connected. When we bite the nails, we are doing the same thing. When the lion attacks the deer, what happens? The same thing happens in a miniature level. That happens in an expression way. This happens in a suppression way. When the lion attacks the deer, the weapons are used to disturb others, to disturb the other person. It is used expressively. The same thing happens when you bite the nails. The same anger is used in a suppressive way towards yourself. Unconsciously, the result is same. When a lion attacks the deer and when you bite the nails, both of them the same. It is expressive, it is suppressive. That is the only difference. Expressive is little less dangerous than suppressive. So this meditation is called Dukkha Arana. This is based from a tantra, from Vijnana Tantra. This meditation is designed. It is especially designed for a modern man to throw out his mind, throw out his subconsciousness, throw out his repressed things. It is a 30 minutes meditation. First 10 minutes, it is a 3-part, 30 minutes meditation. We cannot call it as a meditation. We can call it only as a meditation technique. Even the word meditation is somehow associated with seriousness. When you listen to the word meditation, many people are like, am I right? Many people run away just by listening to the word meditation. If you ask them to round the Sanideva temple 11 times, 11 days, they will do it happy. They will even bring some 10 liters of milk and pour on the Sanideva and around the temple. Of course, it is not wrong, I am not criticizing it. They will be happy to do outer things, but afraid to do inner things. Why? You look in, the Pandora box is there. If the Pandora box gets opened, what will happen? She has asked very right beautifully. She asked the question, if you don't control, what will happen? See, the very question resonates with the fear. If you don't control, if you open the Pandora box, what will happen? All will come out. We are afraid of this Pandora box. That is why we never sit for meditation. We never think about meditation. When we listen the word meditation, try to fly, try to take off. So, the word meditation is also a little bit too serious. That is the thing. I want to give some more clarity about meditation. You can ask common questions, frequently asked questions about meditation. Anybody has any questions? Any clarifications? Why should we meditate? Right? To grow the subconscious. That's it. What time?
Of the day we have to do meditation.
This technique will be, you have to do morning as soon as you get up. You can wash yourself and you can do it. Morning as soon as you get up. I don't prescribe the time because I say don't force yourself to get up. Tomorrow I am going to talk about sleep. That time I will leave you. Tomorrow I will elaborate few more ideas about
fall asleep during meditation.
Nothing is wrong. You can just sleep. When you are finished with the sleep, then you can meditate again. Yes, you can practice both. There is no harm because this technique is designed in such a way. The modern man, all of you must have had some other practices. You can continue both. There will be no side effect. And when you feel like that system helps you more, you can drop this system. If you feel this system helps you more, you can drop that system. And there is no comparison. Don't compare with any other system. There are many systems which will help, which is designed for many types of people. So if this system helps you more, you can drop that. If that helps you more, you can drop this. If you feel both are helping you, continue with both. Nothing wrong. And if you drop this system also, you won't have side effect. That I assure you. If you drop my system, you will not be having any side effect. If you drop the other system, I don't know, you have to acquire them. Yes, don't condemn any technique. Don't condemn any technique. Everything is designed. Even the beautiful Vivekananda says, the Narabali worship, the tribals do. Even that has got some value in it. Don't condemn even that, he says. He goes to such a extreme. And he says, don't condemn even the Narabali. So we should never condemn anything. So any other question? You see, actually, whatever we have the idea that a meditation is only for the people who have finished their life, who have lived their life. The spiritual person. I say, if you don't meditate, I assure you, you will not be able to remain without becoming mad. You can write this verse. In this modern society, if you want to be mentally alright, if you want to be not becoming mad, if you don't want to become mad, you have to meditate, there is no other way. Meditation has become a basic need. It was a luxury at one time. Now we are enough disturbed. It has become a basic need. This meditation technique, that's why I use the word meditation technique. Now which I am going to give is nothing to do with that spirituality. It has, this technique will help you to drop the desires. No, suppression and expression is totally different thing. Dropping is totally different thing. You will not feel the desire back again and down. When you drop your thoughts through this meditation technique, you will not feel that things are again coming up. Yes. Now the meditation technique which I am going to give, the technique which I am going to give is meditation. This meditation is nothing but unburdening of suppressions. You can write it. Unburdening of suppressions. Yes, there are next techniques which will be given later on. Actually, when the insanity which is inside your thing, if that is brought out, naturally sanity will bloom, will flower. You don't have to create sanity in you. You don't have to create peace in you. You don't have to create spirituality in you. If you just throw out the subconscious, spirituality will flower automatically in your being. Of course, there are many meditation techniques for that. But now, today what I am going to give you, today what I am going to make you to do is the meditation technique which will help you to unburden those suppressions, which will make your body intelligence work. You have asked the right question for which I cannot answer. Now you are wondering. Actually, I can say the qualities of spirituality. I cannot say what is exactly spirituality. I can say the quality of spirituality is Ananda, Nityananda, ever blissful, and full of intelligence, and full of love towards your being, your whole being will become love. With all this quality, and plus something more, is called spirituality. I cannot exactly define the spirituality. I can define the spiritual qualities. If you become spiritual, all these qualities will radiate around you. An extraordinary love energy, an extraordinary bliss energy, an extraordinary spiritual energy, an extraordinary healing energy will radiate around you. Plus something more is called spiritual. The plus something more cannot be explained. E equal to mc square. In that expression, there will be one infinity. There will be infinity. One infinity will be there in that sutra, which cannot be explained, which cannot be explicable. In the same way, in spirituality also, there is something more which cannot be explained. Experience, yes, right word. Which can be only experienced, which cannot be expressed. But the qualities you can understand. These qualities will be radiated. When you go for meditation, when you deeply had at least one experience of meditation, you will see all these things are radiating around you. All these things are happening to you. That is what is called spirituality. So now we will go for the technique. The first 10 minutes, there is a music which will encourage you to do the meditation technique. There is an encouraging music which will change by itself every 10 minutes. You don't have to see the clock. This is 30 minutes technique, 3 parts, each consists of 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes, we are going to work with breathe. We are going to work with breathe. We are going to deeply and chaotically breathe. I will just show, I will do it and show you. Because when the body intelligence is awakened, the body will take how much of oxygen is needed when you deep breathe. There is no need for controlling your breath. There is no need for holding your breath. It is not pranayama. Please be very clear. It is not at all pranayama. You are supposed to breathe as deeply as possible, as chaotically as possible. Up to navel. Up to navel. Became a breathing, not that up to navel. Forget your whole being. Forget your whole body. Just became a breathing in the 10 minutes. First 10 minutes of deep, chaotic breathing. And then, no, you just as deeply as possible breathing, as deeply as possible breathe out. And people who have got the problem in heart, do it as much as you can. Don't overload it. But other people, put your whole energy and do it. The 10 minutes standing and deep breathing. In these 10 minutes, all your frozen energies in your body will start melting. All the frozen energy which is stored in your nervous system will start getting melted. The heat will melt all the repressed emotions. Your subconscious will be completely open. The next 10 minutes is called catharsis. You are supposed to open the sealed body which is in your being. Just make your body as tense as possible everywhere in a chaotic way. Just throw your legs, throw your hand, round your head, whatever you want to do. Whatever body wants to do, allow it to do. But wildly. That is the only word to underline. Do it wildly. Just make your teeth tense, make your eyes tense, make your hands tense, make your legs tense, make whatever body part you feel, make it tense as possible and relax. I will show you, do it and show you. Have you understood? The first 10 minutes, deep chaotic breathing. Next 10 minutes, just pouring out all your dukkha. If you feel like crying, just cry. If you feel like screaming, scream. If you feel like rolling your head, just roll. Allow complete independence. These 10 minutes. Don't control your body for 10 minutes. Only one rule, don't disturb the next person. Don't disturb others. That is the only rule. You are supposed to throw all the insane. Become a man. In one word I tell you, become already we are mad inside. You just take one paper. Today you go and do it as a homework. Today this is the homework for you all. You all will take one paper and sit in your place and allow the mind to think. Even if you just keep you sit within 1 or 2 minutes, you will forget everything and start having your dreams, your thoughts. When you remember, just start writing what you thought. Then keep the pen and allow. After again within 2-3 seconds, you will forget and your mind will start wandering. And again when you remember, write it down. If you write one page, you will see what big mad house is running in your neighborhood. You are running a big asylum in your being. Suddenly you will feel that you are gone to Delhi. After 2 minutes, suddenly you will be in Bangalore. And suddenly you will be in your shop looking after business. And immediately you will remember that your wife has not kept water in your bedroom. So your thoughts are completely unrelated and unarranged. Jumping from here, there, here to there. Beautiful example given by Vivekananda. What is mind? He answers. If a monkey is enough example to express the mind. He says, if a monkey drinks alcohol, intoxicated, what will happen? And not only that, scorpion bites it. Then, and ghost enters. What will be the condition of the monkey? Our mind is actually equal to the monkey. I think much simpler than our mind. He has told rightly. That is what is our mind. So, just bring out the madness. Act out the madness. This is the right word. Act out. Now there is a big technique in West, psychodrama. Which they call it. If you want to beat somebody, they will give you one pillow. And you have to do prana pratishtha of that person to the pillow. Just as you do prana pratishtha in temple. Oh, Ramakrishna Devadaya, Igaracha. You do prana pratishtha. Let Ramakrishna be here. Just like that. Remember your enemy and do prana pratishtha in that pillow. And beat that pillow nicely. They say really, the psychologist discovered, they say really the person gets out of the anger. The anger is simply vanished. It is beneficiary. The psychodrama. Throwing out your feelings into the air. Throwing out your feelings into the air. Dropping your feelings into the air. If you beat somebody there, what will happen? The chain of karma will be continuing. He will beat you, you will beat him, then it will be continuing. If you keep it inside, it will become suppression and disease. Either you disturb others or you disturb yourself. Now this is the technique. Neither to disturb them nor to disturb you. Just to throw it out. Act out all the repressed anger. Just to make your whole body make faces. Now you all will be given ribbons. So nobody will be able to see each other. So you have the complete freedom. Full freedom to do whatever you want. The 10 minutes, just bring out everything. Don't have any shape, any culture, anything. You have had enough of all these things. Just keep your, patient, Mogamudi. Right word? Mask. Just keep the mask out and bring the violent figure outside. You will become really a Santamuni. You see, when the violent person comes out, the Shanta, the Ananda, the silence, it starts moving in automatically. Then, without your knowledge, from a deep inner consciousness, you will be in a deep silence and pleasure and pleasing. So, when the tape says, when the 20 minutes says, tape recorder says stop, immediately stop as you are. If you are standing like this, stop as it is. Just became a frozen idol. Just became ice statue. Why I say, every possibility, and especially in the master's presence. When your mind stops working, immediately energy is rushing to you. Actually, you are all made to listen, not for listening. I have nothing to tell you. I have nothing to give you. If you are able to feel the energy directly, I can communicate, I can give you more in silence than talking. Actually, I can help you more in silence than talking. But why I am talking? If I don't talk, you will start talking with yourself. If I ask all of you to sit silently in my presence, what will happen? After 2 seconds, you will start talking yourself. So to stop your chattering, I am talking. When you give a little gap, when you stop little chattering, immediately my energy will rush into you. My presence will give to rush into you. So that gap, when you stop, when I say stop, really stop. When you stop, immediately there is every chance of in that gap you will see that something is happening, some new light is entering. After 1 minute or 2 minutes, you will start seeing the thoughts are slowly coming up. So no problem, just sit down as you are, where you are. Sit down and the last portion of the meditation, the 10 minutes, you just sit in a relaxed way and pleasing mood. With a pleasing mood. So if you remember somebody, just remember whom you love. If you remember somebody, you are pleased in somebody's face, just remember them. He may be God, he may be a guru, he may be your devata, or he may be your friend, he may be your relative, he may be your husband, he may be your wife. Most probably may not be your wife and husband. It happens so. The wife and husband maybe. Anyhow, whomsoever you feel like pleasing, just remember them. Or you can be as you are without even remembering. You can be just sitting in a pleasing mood and witness all your thoughts. Don't condemn your mind. Don't condemn your thoughts. Don't concentrate on anybody. Concentration has nothing to do with meditation. Concentration is not meditation. Meditation is awareness. So just be aware of your thoughts. Whatever thoughts comes, thought goes, just allow it. So, do you understand that clearly? First 10 minutes, deep chaotic breathing, standing. Whatever way the body goes, allow it. And next 10 minutes, deep catharsis, acting it out. When catharsis says stop, stop. And the other 10 minutes, when slowly thoughts have started coming, just sit in a relaxed way and pleasing mood. Whatever happens inside your body and outside your body, just witness it by closing the eyes. Don't try to force silence in the house when you meditate. There are few people, if they start meditating, they will torture the whole house. You keep silent, they take note and keep the telephone and giving big commands to the people, I am going to meditate. Before they go to meditate, they will make a big poster and then only they will go to meditate. Don't do that. Whatever happens outside, let it happen. Don't feel anything as disturbance. Don't try to torture anybody in the name of meditation. So, this happens, am I right? Yes. Stand like this and have a free clothing. The body moves, allow it to move. For some people, if you do like this, it will be easy for you. Allow it, no problem. The way in which body moves, allow it. You may have heard the similar type of techniques from some other school, don't bother. Don't compare, don't mix it up. Just beat, if you remember your enemy, just give beat. Then you can sit in a happy way, relaxed way, no problem. If you don't have anything, just sit in a relaxed way, no problem. problem. That is not. There is no compulsion that you have to express. Everything is done. Sit simply. But see, don't cheat yourself. Be very careful. Many people try to cheat ourselves.
What about mamakara? Say, I don't have dvesha. Say, but I am mamakara. What do you have to do?
Actually, mamakara and dvesha, only in word they are different. In intrinsic way, they are one and the same. If you see in the deep mind, when you deeply breathe, these differences you will understand. That is why the verbal, when I say verbally, you can question mamakara, dvesha, all these words. When you have breathed 10 minutes, all the anger will come out. You will simply bubble up. You will not be able to control yourself, you will simply breathe and things will come out. Don't use the words, use the screaming sounds. Ooh, ah, ooh, like this. Don't use words, your mind will come in. Don't allow the mind to come in. When you hear this about this technique, you will not feel like, what is this? This Swami is teaching us to become mad. You will feel. When you do this technique, you will see the benefit. You will be tremendously benefited. When you do this technique, if you want to testify scientifically, all of you go today and have one passport size photograph taken. 15 days you do this technique. 15th day you take one passport size photograph. You will see your faces completely become flower in 15 days. I assure you. I assure you. In 15 days, your face will completely get changed. You will see that your face, your eyes have become pleasing. Your face has flowered. You will see a tremendous difference in your face. So you can see it in a visible way.
After 15 days, you will get filtered water.
Yes, rightly told. You will get the filtered water. So this meditation technique, now we are going to start. Just I will show you the one or two things. So for breathing, use this. So for making tense, do whatsoever you like. There is no need of steps. Simply do what you want. That's the thing. I think there is no need for steps. If you show something, you will be following the same thing. Don't do according to it. Do according to you. So the second step, do whatsoever you want. Feel like whatsoever you feel, you do it. You see, there is no must in this. Do it according to you. No problem. Just do it as you like. Allow the breathing to happen. That's all. Body will take its own posture. You don't have to design any separate posture. Anything?
What about breathing in second?
Second 10 minutes, no need for breathing. Let it be normal. Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Carry this silence with you and sleep as soon as you go. Just as early as possible, go to rest. You will feel a deep sleep and full awakeness. Enough.
Maybe they dream about you.